Hello, welcome to Let's Talk with me, your host, Irene Solo. Today, I am so excited. We have another guest, and this one we're going to talk about something totally different. Something that actually, when I looked into it, I was a bit surprised. I was like, what does this mean? But then, she's here to explain more about it, and we're going to learn. Let us learn. We're here to talk, right? And as we talk, we learn. So today, I'm going to welcome to the stage Heidi Bradford. She's a good friend and she's here to talk to us about PMDD. Please welcome Heidi. You are welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me, Irene.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you actually agreed to come through and you availed yourself because the topic you talk about really interests me because I kept on asking myself, what is PMDD? So it's like, okay, I wanted to, if myself, I didn't know much about it. So I kept on thinking, if I don't know about it, I'm sure there are other people who didn't know much about it. And then the more I read about it, the more I realized it's something I know. I just didn't know the term.
Yes,
I just
yeah.
I just didn't know that this is how it's called. So I just want us to hear more about this PMDD. But before that, I'm going to just introduce Heidi so that you can hear more about her. Heidi Bradford, she is a certified life coach and a mother of 5 children. This summer, she'll celebrate 18 years of marriage. Woo! Congratulations!
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of you, man. That's great. Heidi has been in the world of homeschooling for the past 10 years, and her family has moved 6 times in the last 13 years due to her husband's military service. Oh, he is in the military. We need to talk. My daughter and my son wants to join the military so much.
Oh,
Yeah. So a pivotal moment in her life was when she discovered she has PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Heidi now hosts a weekly podcast called Living Well with PMDD to help women deal with severe PMS and premenstrual dysphoric disorder. To learn more about Heidi, you can check out her website at https or www.heidibradfordcoaching.com or tune into her podcast Living Well with PMDD, and I will encourage you to please tune into that podcast. You will learn a lot. When I listened to her podcast, some of the things I was a bit confused. I was like, where did she get all these things? But I'm glad I listened to some of the things she was talking about. So now I would encourage you to listen to them. There are some things we take for granted, but yet they can really be life changing and life transforming. Back to you, Heidi. Talk to me. How are you?
I am good.
You
Yeah,
have
we're
such
having.
an you have such an impressive autobiography. It's beautiful. Your
Oh,
bio,
thank you.
your bio is amazing. It's simple, straight to the point, but yeah, it makes somebody think.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
tell me something before we even go deeper.
Mhm.
Why PMDD? Why PMDD?
Well, so I'd been a life coach when I found out that I had PMDD, and it was, it's just really lonely. I think when you find out that you have, even before you find out you have PMDD, just the symptoms, you feel so alone. And then it's also pretty confusing because a lot of the things that you notice yourself are mental or emotional struggles, but it originates in your body. So it's actually a physical limitation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to focus on PMDD, particularly through life coaching, helping women in that way, because
Mm-hmm.
life coaching helped me so much more
Mm-hmm.
than other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I love women. I do not want women to give up. I don't want them to self-eliminate, commit
Yeah.
suicide or any of those things. I just want them to be able to accept themselves, but also have the tools to be able to feel good in their life.
Tell me something. How how did you know that you have PMDD? Or how are you diagnosed? Because people will think, okay, maybe you need to go to a doctor or things like that. How did you know? Because personally, I really didn't have an idea of anything called PMDD. So how did you find out? What made you realize that it's called PMDD? Who told you? Is it any of the medical practitioners, or how did you get to that? Mm-hmm.
I was talking with a friend, and she was confiding in me that one of her one of her friends had recently died
Mm-hmm.
from, and that her condition was called PMDD,
Mm-hmm.
and she had committed suicide. But this woman was in our church group, but I had never met her because she had left to go and get help for this. She'd
Mm-hmm.
gone to live with her parents and was
Mm-hmm.
getting help for it.
Mm-hmm.
And just as my friend was telling me about this woman, I felt like, Heidi, that sounds a lot like you. And you should look
Mm-hmm.
more into this. And so I proceeded to schedule just a doctor's appointment with my family care doctor. And I said, I think I might have this. I took my husband with me because I kind of felt crazy talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the doctor said, looking at your, no, they do just that really simple mental health questionnaire when you go in,
Yeah, yeah,
looking
yeah.
at that. And then he went and looked at PMDD on a website and talked to another doctor that happened to be there.
Yeah.
Came back in and said, yeah, I think that might be what it is. But unlike a lot of other conditions, there is not a test you can do. They can't test your hormones and say, oh, yes, for sure you have PMDD or not.
Mm.
But if you
Oh.
have PMS, which like 20 to, I think it's 20 to 30% of women that can have kids that are menstruating, they have PMS, which is just premenstrual symptoms or
Mm-hmm.
premenstrual syndrome, I guess. But PMDD, it's like 10 times, it's just a lot worse
Mm-hmm.
than just that. But that's how I
Okay.
found out. A woman lost her life for me to find out. And I'm so happy that, I'm not happy that she lost her life, but I am happy that because of her struggle, I was able to figure out what my struggle was so that I could address it. Before this, I thought maybe I had depression, maybe I had different things, and nothing fit the profile until I looked into PMDD.
Okay. This is interesting. Okay. What is PMDD?
So it's an acronym for premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
really, in short, it's a severe form of PMS. But what happens is the symptoms are only the week or 1 to 2 weeks before you start your period. You will experience depression, irritability, a lot of negative thoughts, particularly about yourself. You might
Mm-hmm.
have some physical symptoms of like breast tenderness, bloating, but it's to the extent that you can't just rein yourself in.
Wow.
You and I, we know about helping ourselves through positive
Yeah.
talk, through
Yeah.
meditation and those type of things. You need a little bit more help, either from
Yeah.
yourself and usually from outside sources as well. But and it's the cause of it is still not known. It's I think the best explanation I've heard from like the John Hopkins website and other things is it's an abnormal reaction
Mm.
to normal hormone fluctuations.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
Mm.
and it's in about 5% of women that are of childbearing age
Yeah.
have
Mm.
PMD.
Okay, I was reading something about PMDD, something that really shocked me, that actually PMDD can start from the age of 26. That actually shocked me that women, actually PMDD most of the time, out for the listeners out there, PMDD affects women. So especially it's a menstrual cycle disorder or something like that. Am I right, Heidi? So
Absolutely.
I was so surprised that from the age of 26, people can already start experiencing this. Then I remembered an instance where there was a lady who always, every time she reached that particular time of the month, she will be in pain. She will not even go to work. She'll be crying, cramps, and you will see that she's literally sick. But other people didn't understand because you may not go through that, so you don't understand. It feels as if she is pretending or she's overdoing it, but then you come to realize that actually this thing is real. This thing is real because it's like the mood swings and all that. And then there's something that also surprised me about this, that the PMDD actually has symptoms. So what are the symptoms of PMDD? Any, do you have an idea of any?
Yes. So it depression, anxiety, some paranoia can be there. Everyone's a little bit different, but breast tenderness, bloating, cramps. You can have cramps. You might not, though. That they say you need to have at least 5 of the. There's honestly like a list of probably 40 different symptoms that women have. And if you
Mm-hmm.
have, it's either 5 to 10 of those symptoms more than half of your menstrual cycles,
Mm-hmm.
then they would classify you as having PMDD. I think it's pretty easy to self diagnose because
Mm-hmm.
it only happens about 10 days before your period,
Okay.
the symptoms. And
Oh,
so, I
okay.
mean, if you think of someone that has depression, it doesn't like change throughout the month. It's kind of a heavy weight that they're always kind of carrying and dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that only happens right
Mm-hmm.
before I start my period. For 10 days before my period, that's one of my symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that makes it confusing, though, because you can't just take, say, medicine that would normally be used for treating general anxiety or general
Yeah.
depression, because when you don't need it, then it makes you weird. It
Yeah.
makes you not feel
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Okay, I read something that also intrigued me actually. I was like, I was reading and it says PMDD causes extreme mood shifts that can disrupt work and damage relationships. And then it continued to say symptoms include extreme sadness, hopelessness, irritability, or anger, plus common premenstrual symptoms such as breast tenderness and bloating. So when I'm listening to you talking, I'm like, this thing is serious actually. This thing is not a joke as we take it. And then the more I was reading about it, when he's talking about the whole symptoms, he spoke about depressions, and you just spoke about it, and then you just spoke about a friend who was telling you about somebody who killed herself. So imagine. Normally, we say no, so and so is suffering from depression, but you're saying this PMDD only has works within, actually affects you within 10 days before your periods, and then within these 10 days you can actually take your life from yourself.
Yes. And actually, a study done, I think it was in 2018, but they they found that 34% of women that consider that they have PMDD, there are 34% of them that have attempted suicide. And that doesn't even include any women that were successful. So it is very important for women to know that this is an option for them to look into. Is this what I have, so that
Mm-hmm.
they can address it correctly? I mean, you can imagine a woman that has been diagnosed with depression or bipolar disorder, but if she actually has PMDD, those medications are going to throw things off even more, and she's going to feel more hopeless.
Jeez. That's it's it's confusing.
It is. I feel very lucky that I have what I consider a good life. I have faith in God. I have a husband who loves me. I have children that bring me joy. And so when I was going through those things, because I have probably had PMDD for probably 20 years. Um,
Mm.
so I would go through those times, and I'm just thankful that I had the support to know, even when my brain was telling me, your kids deserve a better mother. Your husband shouldn't have to deal with you, needing to just be in your room for
Mm.
hours and
Yeah.
not being able to handle life, that I was
Mm.
able to say, no, I have a purpose. And also, it took me a long time to get to where I could just say, I'm sick right now. And everyone gets sick. This is something I need to help myself by doing the things that I need to do to take care of myself.
Hmm. This is interesting. Okay, viewers, I actually saw a message from, is it Vienna or Vina? You said, hello, you are welcome, Vina. Please just listen. These are things that can really help you, and I'll really encourage you to follow Vanya. Oh, Vanya Salazar, thank you so much for listening. Hello, how are you? Please, Vanya, listen to Heidi. These are some of the things that she has gone through and she has navigated through them. And today she's talking here to us, telling us how she's been able to navigate it throughout all these years, because it means she started going through these earlier in life without her even knowing that she was going through them. So another question I have that I need to ask you, just for the sake of the viewers, Heidi, tell me, what strategies do you find helpful in managing the symptoms of PMDD when, because you said it comes 10 days before. So when these symptoms come, what strategies do you use to be able to manage this? Because I can imagine when somebody is depressed and angry and irritated and you have 5 kids, I'm sure the anger will be thrown on all the kids and your husband and everybody that is around you. All the pots will be flying. Trust me.
Yes,
How do you
unfortunately.
how, how do you avoid the pots flying around the house? Please
Oh,
talk to me.
yes. I think the probably the number one thing is tracking my period. So knowing when to expect my period to start so that I can be prepared, that 10 days before that, I know to kind of take some deep breaths. I do take a medicine. I use a supplement as well.
Mhm,
And to know that I need to slow down if at all possible.
mhm,
Um, that is huge. And then I also enjoy guided meditation, taking a warm bath,
mhm,
sometimes taking a nap. I get
mhm,
life coaching. I do
mhm,
I can self coach, or I actually can get um, have a coach me
mhm.
through those
Yeah.
negative feelings. and
Mm.
and then also, I think always having a something that's fulfilling for me, that I know that I am doing for myself.
That's good. That's good. So in other words, in simple times, you look for things that make you feel hopeful and makes you feel that you are worth you value yourself and you're worth it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And when
that's
I
interesting.
some of the time I really cannot believe it, but
Mm,
instead of instead of not believing it, I just choose I recognize that right now I cannot feel it, but that I
mm,
know it, and that
mm.
in a few days I'll feel it again.
Oh, okay, okay. So you see, actually having a positive mindset here is very, very important, because I can see that if you decide to actually also work on your mindset and how you think, it's also very important because it will help you navigate through this. Am I right, Heidi?
Yes. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that some women that have gone through this, though, if they think that they need to change their mindset to be positive during this time, that can be
Mm,
damaging. But
mm,
I think mindset work is also, it's so vital, because it it means that we can accept ourselves as we are, even if we
mm,
cannot necessarily see the good in a situation. We can say that's okay for right now.
mm. Mm,
And then sometimes counting blessings can help, and sometimes it doesn't. But being
mm,
able to accept yourself wherever you are, um, I do think those are both. I know that's kind of an interesting approach to mindset, but if we recognize what our mind is experiencing, then we can say, yes, let's entertain that, or no, let's not really entertain that. Let's trust that we do have inherent worth, and
mm.
that we will feel better in a few days.
Mm, mm. I like that because you're actually making us understand that you need to know. It's more or less like you're saying you need to know where you're going, you need to know yourself, and then that way you will work on your mind, you'll work on your thoughts. It doesn't matter the situation you're facing, keep holding on to the positive mindset that you have.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That's great. Another question I have for you quickly, please. I know I'm bombarding you with a lot of questions, but this topic
Right.
is interesting me. I'm actually learning a lot from it. You actually made me go back and literally start researching more about it. And I was like, I need to know more about it. What's this? What's PMDD? What's PMDD? So I actually my interest was aroused when I heard about PMDD, especially when you're speaking about it. So how do medical practitioners react to this? Because there's something you can go to a doctor and say I have flu, and then they're like, oh, okay. I have my probably my ankle is twisted. They were like, okay. So when you go to a doctor and you say, okay, I think I'm having PMDD, or I'm struggling with this, do they even understand it? How do they act? How do they react? How do they
Well,
act with it?
I mean, it really depends on the doctor, but I do think more of them now understand that PMDD is a thing and that a lot of women experience it. When I first talked to my family doctor, he did not know much about it. So he left and he talked to a doctor that had a little more experience, and he did a little bit of internet research before coming back and talking with me, which I appreciate, because if you don't know what's going on, that's perfect. You find resources that can help you. And then the second doctor I talked to, she knew more about PMDD and had clients that had had it, and she prescribed a an SSRI,
Okay.
so a serotonin reuptake inhibitor,
Mm-hmm.
and like one generic, well, Prozac is one of them. Generic form is fluoxetine. There are others as well. And she said that, along with exercise,
Mm-hmm.
regular exercise, I mean, she said 60 minutes a day, which I cannot do, but I try to do maybe 30 at least 3 or 4 times a week. But
Yeah.
she said the medicine plus
Mm-hmm.
exercise and some diet changes and getting consistent sleep and water. So that's, I
Mm,
think, where the medical side comes in. They may
mm,
say vitamins or supplements as well. Um,
mm,
I found those on my own,
mm,
but
mm,
yes.
Okay, tell me something. Do you have any idea what causes PMDD?
Well, they say that it is an abnormal reaction to
Mm-hmm.
hormone changes.
Oh,
But
okay. Mm-hmm.
and they also say they don't really know. So
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
it's
I
kind of
get it.
both sides, but
Mm,
one of the results is your serotonin is decreased.
okay, okay.
So that's why an SSRI can help, because it blocks the serotonin from being taken.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you keep a little more of it longer. Also, I know that other women have been prescribed birth control. I
Okay.
never, I never did that, but um, I know there are a lot of women, and some say that it helps, and some say that it doesn't.
Okay.
I'm in a community on Facebook that has a lot of women that suffer with PMDD, and it's pretty. I feel like it's a condition that it really helps to have a community.
What's the name of the community, please? Can you just mention it so that anybody suffering from it can join you? What's the name of the
Yes,
community on Facebook?
it is. It's actually really long. Let me just pull it up on my phone so that I get it right.
Okay, okay. Wow, this is a very, very interesting topic. PMDD. Wow. So
Yes.
anybody who
Okay.
wants to know more, yes, we are listening to you.
Okay. PMDD slash PME slash severe PMS support and information group for sufferers by sufferers supporting each other.
Repeat that again, please.
Okay. It is PMDD slash
Mm-hmm.
PME slash
Mm-hmm.
severe PMS support
Mm-hmm.
and information group for sufferers by sufferers.
Okay. I like that. It's a support and information groups for sufferers and by sufferers. So, in other words, the one who has gone through it and the one who's going through it. So, at least you talk about your experiences and somebody else also learns from it. Ladies, I will encourage you to follow up with Heidi because I think most of her Facebook pages she's like Heidi B, something like that. So, try and
I do.
hook up. Yes.
Yes, my I have Heidi HB is my regular Facebook group. My
Okay.
business Facebook group is Heidi Bradford Coaching.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the same as
Okay, so
my
please,
website.
Heidi HB and Heidi Bradford Coaching, please try and reach out, learn more about this because we are learning. We are learning a lot of things. This world has a lot of things that sometimes we take for granted. And another thing is, I think I'm almost done with my questioning. Our time is almost up, but please tell me something. Is PMDD curable?
Oh, that is a loaded question. I have seen people advertise that they will cure your PMDD, and from a medical standpoint, no, it's a
Mm-hmm,
chronic disease or
mm-hmm,
disorder, really.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm working with a wellness doctor right now that they think that they'll be able to decrease my symptoms, if not completely get rid of them through
Okay.
diet and
Mm-hmm.
other things. But I don't know. And I feel like women that think there is a cure, it can be really sad when it's when you're not cured. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
just believing that there's at least help and that every time you experience it, just reach out for help and find a way that you can have a plan in place
Mm,
to handle it. And I do that in my with my life coaching membership.
mm,
I love to help women create a plan so that they have both the emergency tools when these symptoms come on suddenly, but
mm,
also so they have the long term tools so that they can plan their life. They can go on vacation when they want to and
mm.
still be able to handle all of life and not have too many regrets about, getting mad and yelling at children or fighting with your husband about something. I have a friend, she literally noticed she breaks up with her husband every month. Or not her husband, sorry, her boyfriend.
Mhm.
She was like, until I realized that I had PMDD, I just thought we were so incompatible. And then the time would pass and then we'd get back together. And it was a cycle for her that she could see. So
Yeah.
being able to address it so that you don't have to go through those cycles and experience the negative thought patterns that just
Yeah.
come with having PMDD and having depression in general.
Mm. Oh, okay. There's something you said. You normally provide some of the information in your life coaching and all that. Do you or normally do it on a monthly basis, a yearly basis, or do you have a program where people can register things like that?
I do it on in two ways. If they just
Okay.
want to talk, they can just book. one coaching session with me, and
Okay.
and then I have the membership that is actually just opening up in a few days.
Okay.
It's a monthly membership. I
Okay.
do, along with that, and kind of for free, I do a monthly call though. And you do not have to be in my membership. And that will pop up for anyone if they go to my website.
Okay.
It'll pop up that they can sign up for that free call and get help in that way too.
Wow, that's good. Please reach out to Heidi. It's very important. Lastly, before you go, I know our time is almost up, but lastly, before you go, somebody asked me this question, and I also wanted to ask you, I want to get your view from it. Is PMDD a mental illness?
Oh, so no, it is not. It is actually a physical disorder that
Okay.
manifests like a mental illness.
Okay.
It has psychological, emotional, and mental symptoms, but it
Mm-hmm.
originates in the body. So it is a physical disorder. It's
Mm,
a very
mm, mm.
good question. My recent podcast was actually about that.
Because you know, when you started, you made mention of a friend was telling you about somebody who actually killed herself. So somebody will think, okay, this thing, when I have it, it's a death sentence, I can kill myself. It's like I'm running. Hey, cuckoos, they say cuckoos already. It's like you can't think well, you can't be able to, maybe you are not stable mentally. So it's good for people to know that actually it's not a mental illness, it's something that just comes and you can control it if you set your mind to it. Am I right?
In a way, yes. But I
Okay.
do think most women, if you think you have PMDD, you will think you have a mental illness at
Mm-hmm.
first. Like that's what's going to come up.
Okay.
And those are the things you're going to talk to your doctor about. And I do think it might be
Mm,
classified as, oh, it might be even classified as a mental illness in some medical circles, but it does
mm.
originate in the body. And I feel like if we address it in both ways, you are
Mm.
so much more likely to be able to handle it.
That's good. Thank you very much. So, what can you tell the viewers? Your last words, please, on to anyone who's listening or anybody who will watch this video afterwards. What can you say to them, please? Anybody who's suffering from PMDD, somebody who didn't know about it, or who knows somebody who has some of these symptoms. What can you say to them?
I would just say thank you for watching and learning about this, and
Mm-hmm.
look out for it with your teenage daughters. And as your daughters have kids, be
Mm-hmm.
aware that
Mm-hmm.
this is a thing. And if you think that you have PMDD or you struggle with a lot of negative thinking about yourself, about your life, don't give up. Reach out, get help, from me, from someone else, because you have a purpose here on this earth, and we want to have your amazingness still here with us. We do not want to lose that.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you. Viewers, you listen to Heidi. She's a beautiful soul. I always say she's a beautiful soul. You know, there's times you don't even know how to describe somebody because you just know that she has a good heart. She is a beautiful soul. And what she has told you, it's something she has gone through it. She's something that she's still going through. But now she has been able to manage it and she's been able to handle it. So she's talking to you and trying to reach out to you so that you can be able to know and understand how to go through it. Some of the symptoms of PMDD are depressed moods, anger or irritability, trouble concentrating, lack of interest in activities once enjoyed, moodiness, increased appetite, insomnia, or feeling very sleepy, feeling overwhelmed or out of control. Please, if you realize you're going through some of these things, please reach out to somebody for help, reach out to Heidi for help, reach out to a doctor for help, and I believe you will be okay. Remember, you are meant to be authentic and not to be flawless. So everybody can always make a mistake. There can be some things that are not okay with you, but just remember, just be authentic, be yourself, take a step. So you are meant to be authentic, not flawless, or rather you are meant to be real and not perfect. Love you all. See you again next week on Tuesday for our live stream. Bye. Thank you all. Ciao.